Alright guys, so here we have an LS2 intake manifold off of my GTO that I've been working on forever and ever. But anyway, at any rate, should be putting it back together soon. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little quick port job. The LS2 intake, if you own an LS2 and have researched or have been looking around at forums or whatever, you will know that it is probably the worst in the LS series. Intake wise. So obviously I already have the intake off. If you need help with just taking the intake off, there is a way to do it without removing too much other stuff. I'm going to attach a thread where I got a lot of my information from. So just go ahead and read about it in there if you need help with that, or if you need clarification on any of the steps, that'd be a good thing to read. So looking inside of each runner, as they're called, you can see there on the side that the walls are just really not they're not that smooth. They're kind of rough. It creates turbulent air, and that's not a good thing because we want air to get in and out as fast as possible. Did a little bit of preparation, stuffing, shop towel or a rag in every single hole. That is to prevent plastic from getting in your intake, because I'm pretty sure that would not be very good if you got plastic in your engine. People have reported that they can gain up to 20 wheel horsepower with a tune. The tune probably does a lot of the power gain from it, but it's definitely worth doing if you have your intake off anyway, because it's pretty simple and it can be more effective with more mods depending on what you have. Even if you're stock, it'll pick up a couple horsepower and it's free, so why not? And it doesn't take very much time if you know what you're doing. So first thing was first, started with the Dremel tool and a pretty rough sandpaper bit, and as you can see, it's all black. I like to pick up a lot of plastic in the bit. Went through a couple different bits, they're all filled with plastic. Definitely not the right way to go. So from there, this is what we did. We decided to try out some regular sandpaper and just switch it out as it filled up. Again, not the greatest idea. So what we did, went to a metal file. This got a pretty good amount of plastic off, but it was pretty rough. So the metal file is good for taking it down. You want to take it down so that the walls are smooth. If you feel inside of one of the runner walls, you can see that it doesn't really line up right. There's little pieces where two different parts of plastic are coming together and they just don't line up right. So you can, it's not going to be 100% perfect, but you can smooth it down to where it won't make as much of a difference. Alright, so the rule of thumb is that at first you should be able to fit a 5/8 socket in there without issue. After you're done, you want to take about enough to fit a 11/16, which currently does not fit. It almost fits, but it doesn't fit it perfectly. And the rest of it was me trying to switch out the tips.
So how much power do people report gaining with this?
I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but we smoothed down the walls. We here have our 11/16 socket, and it will fit in there. Not in the bottom, fits in the top. So after you're done with your metal piece, you're going to skip up and you're going to use your Dremel tool, but you're going to want to use 120 grit sandpaper to just smooth it out. Another thing you want to do is make sure you don't take too much material off. That would not be good. You would need another intake. And you want to make sure you're on the lowest setting possible, because if you go too fast, the plastic will melt. Then last but not least is I'm going to take this file, I'm not quite 100% finished, and taper the edges, because when you sand it up the edges get kind of rough, and you want a smooth transition from your heads to or from your intake manifold rather to your heads. So the less turbulence in the air, the better flow, the better, you know, the air gets in and out of your engine, the more horsepower you make. Okay, well, now that we're done with the intake, you're going to want to go ahead and remove the rags. When you remove them, you can grab them with a pair of pliers, pull them out, try and get as much plastic as you can. There are a couple of ways that I've heard of cleaning them out. For a quicker finish, you can get some intake manifold cleaner, which is what we have. It comes in an aerosol can, just spray it out, get all that junk out of there. Or you can get a good old hose, just hose her down, just make sure that you have dried this thing out to the bone before you put it back on your car. So we're just going to go ahead, spray out the runners, remove the rags, and then make sure we have a nice clean surface in there, and we'll be all finished. So here we go. So just to give you an idea, as you can see, the sides are smoothed down. You can see too some gray areas. The intake cleaner is already drying up. We're going to remove the throttle body over there and get a better clean so it'll completely dry out. As you can see though, this is pretty much what the end product's looking like. You got your walls smoothed down. See, this is the little lip right here. As you can see, the line where you need to get both edges equal. And that's pretty much what the finished product looks like. And it's ready to be slapped back on. It's not that hard of a process. Like I've been saying, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I'll answer them as best as I can. And yeah, thanks for watching. This is Big Clap 34, coming at you with more tutorials soon. Gonna have this baby back on the road here in a couple days, hopefully.